I think I got AI wrong at NADA. When I travel for work, I miss my kids like crazy. And it's common for me to check in with them, usually end of the day or so. And yesterday was no exception. So, in checking in with them, I go through the typical status report, right? It's how you doing? How was your day? Daddy misses you. Daddy loves you. I'll see you soon. And as I drive home alone with my thoughts, which is typically very lonely, I'm realizing that I'm probably asking the right questions about AI, like is it real or not? But my definition needs to change on what real actually means. See, I walked into NADA with my bullshit detector on one frequency. That frequency was, is this real or is this just a GPT wrapped API that you're just upcharging for? And don't get me wrong, both existed at the show, with the latter probably being more prevalent. And where I got it wildly wrong, which took me up to the very last meeting on the very last day, was that I never defined what real was before going to the show. And what real has meant in terms of technology advancement in automotive for the last 25 years has been mostly around reporting. It's been things like better visibility or faster accessibility or communication workflows and sequences that keep you on task or bucket customers into certain statuses based on what they might do on or offline. And while those advancements have been great, I think that you could probably argue that things haven't fundamentally changed since the invention of the spreadsheet. And much like my phone calls home to my kids when I'm traveling, those ones where I say, "Hey, how you doing? How are you feeling? How was school today?" We are managing those conversations the exact same way with those spreadsheets in auto, where your dealer principal might call the GM and say, "How's it going? What's the numbers? How's the status looking today? How many cars we got out?" Side note, how many GMs actually tell their dealer principals that they can just look up the numbers and status of all of the reports online? Who's got the balls to do that? Let's hear it in the comments. Maybe that's another post. I think that real AI, and I'm talking about agentic AI, not the Clippy's conference nephew that we saw a lot of this weekend, which I think Clippy was way ahead of its time. Bring Clippy back, jeez. I'm gonna name my Mac Mini Clippy with Clawbot running on it. But again, another post. Jeez, get back on topic. Real AI with agentic layers probably will not provide you with better reporting. It will make reporting completely obsolete. And I'm ashamed to admit that it took me until the very last day of NADA on the very last conversation with a person that will remain anonymous, but whose name rhymes with Schmary Schmraves, that my definition of what real AI was probably needed some work. So I went to Claude and asked it to. No, I'm just kidding. But that the more that AI progresses, the less we'll have to ask for status updates. And as I drive home, and here's the payoff if you made it this far, I'm wondering if I'm asking my kids the exact same questions about status updates and if those are even the right questions at all, instead of really what I want to know is who are you becoming? Because that's really all I care about. I don't want a status update. I'm really trying to understand if something funny happened at school today, or if maybe they stood up for a friend, or maybe they're scared of something that they just can't say right now. Those are things that don't fit into a report. No status update captures those things. So I'm scared that, but optimistic, I guess, that we're going to have to unlearn those things both in retail automotive and in parenting. And as we race for faster automations and agentic AI, I think it's probably important that we pause a little bit and figure out which parts need to be 100% completely human. What are going to be our non-negotiables for things that we identify as human, like pain, empathy, love, hope, loss? And I don't have the answer, but I do know that I'm asking a lot better questions now. And that I'm okay when I go to a conference like that with a specific agenda about being the bullshit detector of AI, and I walk away thinking, man, like that was not the right question to be asking. I asked that completely wrong. Leave you with this, which is a challenge for everybody, but really just a projection probably, which is when you go home to your dealership or back to your family, stop asking for status updates. Stop asking how everyone's doing or how their week was, how their day was at school. Start asking what matters. And it's probably easier said than done. I'm going to go home today and try it. But anyway, I'll be home soon. Spotify's working again. Great to see everybody this week. I'm humbled and I'm going to ask better questions.